Hello, my name is Russ Milheim from the Direct. Thank you for talking to me today about the show.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I've seen all of season two now, so congratulations. It's
Thank
another
you.
fun, wild ride. Things get pretty crazy.
Yeah,
So,
that's for sure.
for you, I know that in season two, your character gets a much larger role this time around than she had in season one. What was it like to be more involved in the plot?
I was so excited. When I signed on to the show in season one, I was sort of told that my character in the first season is sort of a seed planted, and if we got the opportunity to do another season, you'll kind of watch that character sort of blossom and explore more of her storyline. So I was really excited and I was up for the challenge. I mean, I certainly had no idea that they were planning on taking my character in the direction they did, um, and it was very daunting, but also really exciting to explore that.
Yeah. Now, right off the bat, in the very first episode, they reveal officially that you are now dating Matt. How do you justify your character being with a serial killer?
That is a great question. It was hard. I mean, yeah, that is sort of your job as an actor is to try to justify and humanize your choices as your character, and I was very nervous about that, and I think that Tori innately is very much rooted in reality. And so having this turn, I was like, how am I gonna do this? And honestly, I really have to, I leaned a lot on Tom Bateman, and I think that we sort of created this like memory and an experience together that happened in between seasons that I felt like could lean on throughout the season. And I mean, ultimately, the bottom line is people do crazy things when they're in love, and sometimes they wake up in the middle of it all going, "Oh my God, why did I do that?" Or why how did I get here? And that could potentially happen with Tori this season, or and I think she evolves a lot throughout the season. So I'm excited for the audience to see that.
Did you often find yourself having to like take a moment and be like, all right, why is Tori doing this? Where am I mentally to like, get your place?
You know, uh, Not really, actually. I think it was before we started filming that I was like, how am I gonna do this? And then, I realized, at the end of the day, Tori and Ava are cut from the same cloth, and Ava is very attracted and addicted to this true crime world and lifestyle. And I think that interest sort of manifests in a different way in Tori, and she might not even be that aware of it. But they come from the same family and the same memories and experiences. So, I think she's addicted to the high, and she likes being a part of Matt's world.
Now, you were in Scream 6.
Hmm.
And this being a mystery, secret killers and all that. I've had my eye on Tori, just because of that role. And so I wanted to ask you, do you assume that some audiences might have that same kind of lens of like being extra cautious because they know you as that secret killer from Scream 6 so recently, and how that might play
Yes.
into the show?
Yeah, that's understandable for people to have those suspicions. And I will neither confirm nor deny anything anyone has to say about it. But I think that, Tori is very much immersed in the murderous world of Matt, so anything can happen.
Mhm. What is something you feel has changed about Tori in season two on a character level compared to where she was in season one last time audiences saw her?
I was thinking about our obsession with true crime as like as a community, and even just our society as a whole and people in my generation, and how desensitized we've become. And I feel like in order to get a rise out of us, things need to be more and more intense and more graphic. Like we gravitate towards that now. And I feel like you kind of watch that in Tori in season two. You know, she steers very clear in season one of all things true crime. Like she's very against it. And then all of a sudden she's just like thrust in the middle of that in real time. And I think honestly, because of that kind of exposure, you do see her maybe get a little bit more callous towards it. Which I think a lot of us can, obviously not as closely as Tori, but we can kind of relate to that. You know, we're, talking about how people were falling asleep to Dateline and watching, true crime documentaries, and we're still able to sleep at night because of it. So, I think there's a bit of that in Tori.
One unique thing I did notice about season two is that, it kind of leaves the podcast narrative
Hmm.
behind and shifts focus. Can you talk about making that choice and how, ex you guys explore the next step in the journey of the show?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's such a good question. I think we felt that we really owed it to the audience. If you're going to go another season, I don't know. We think, do you really want to see like the same thing again? And what we loved at the end of the season was how the hell are Chris and Kaylee gonna get out of this? And they're gonna have a baby. And Liana, who's so brilliant, in the middle of this too, and Tom Bateman, what are they gonna do? So in a way, we want to get more into the characters this season and not be in the ins and outs of how you make a podcast, etc. And really actually go further and make sure the audience, like, we got to go on this like really cool new place with them that gets even crazier than being stuck in the old paradigm of a podcast, which for season one, hopefully was really fun for the audience. But we wanted to do something new.
Outside of those changes to the podcast, can you further tease how season two has evolved past that? Because there are a lot of things going on. Like I was like mentioning, like Tori even gets like a spotlight this season where she got upgraded
Yeah,
basically because she wasn't in much of season one, but now she's basically a central character.
totally. Well, I'm so glad you felt that way. We did too. Season one, there's so much plot. This is such a crazy idea. Like, what if they go and do this? What if they make this podcast? How are they going to get away with it? How are they going to keep it a secret? And it builds and builds and builds. Now that that crazy idea is out of the bag and they've done it and they think they can get away with it, we thought, how cool to have time now with these characters and their own evolution. And, in season one, what's always really hard in such a propulsive show like this that's funny and propulsive is, well, what are they going to do? How do they get away with it? What's going to happen? They go to CrimeCon. We didn't have as much time. Like we had some material that got left on the floor. So now I hope you agree. We had such good actors and characters and this awesome new character, Melissa Barrero, that we just wanted to have as much runway and time for the plot to genuinely thicken for all of them and to see how all of them are going to get out of this.
Now season two is only just about to come out, but I have to ask,
Mhm.
what about season three? Can fans feel good about this story continuing? And then how many seasons do you guys maybe hope for? Is it
Yeah.
like a long-term plan that you guys have?
Well, thank you for asking that too. Definitely. Here's the thing. What was really fun about season two, we've always thought that this is a returning show because we also make limited series. We enjoy making limited series, which more often than not are kind of like a long movie. But our feeling was at the end of one, I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. And also selfishly, because as producers, you've watched this again and again. We're so entertained by Chris and Kelly and Leon and Tom and everybody that if we want to watch it, hopefully we have an audience that feels the same way that we do. And Peacock has been such a great partner in feeling the same way. But season two really came. Annie Weissman, who we had loved physical, she and this great group of writers she assembled really wanted to keep taking it further and expanding the scope and the scale of it. So season one, we didn't start out by saying, all right, well, here we know what's happening too. And we hope that's what makes two fun. It isn't like the culmination of one. It really is surprising in a fun way, we hope. And that's where with the season three, which we certainly feel like if the audience, is there with us in season two, we really think and hope that they're going to want to go with us again
Yeah.
because there's a lot more to do.
I want to throw in a really quick, unrelated question. You also worked on Hitman.
Yes.
People love that movie, and I wanted to ask, what are the odds that a second one might come into play one day? Have you guys talked
I
about it?
know. I know. I don't know. I mean, that's the beauty of movies and TV, right? Here's the funny story about Hitman. It was sent to us, this great Skip Hollingsworth article from Texas Monthly was sent to us. Hey, do you want to do it as a TV show? And I realized I don't think it's TV. And we're friendly with Glenn Powell, who literally Texas himself. We thought, my God, we have to do this together. And that's how it was a very organic way. And then Glenn spoke with Rick, who's Rick Linklater, our favorite
Yeah.
filmmaker. Um, so I think the way for it to happen again is it would have to have like really a reason to exist. Glenn and Rick had the best time making it, and I think you know, if they found their way to like, here's what the story would be, here's what it is, I think there would be. But um, we'll have to see. That Glenn Powell's on fire. We'll have to see.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well. I want to jump back to based on a true story. It obviously focuses on a serial killer who's one of the main characters. So, what is it like balancing trying to get audiences on board with the serial killer, but never
Yeah.
going overboard and like crossing some sort of line where now you're going to lose audiences?
Yeah, no, that's the real question, and it sounds like you were with us season one
Yeah.
because you know I think it goes back to the idea of the show, right? We are all obsessed with true crime. Other people's tragedies in a way are entertainment, and we're obsessed with it and want to know more, and this exists all around us. And I think when we wanted to open up for season two, we're going to even get to know the killer further. As you can see in the show in terms of a Silence of the Lambs. Why does he do this? Why does he whatever? That's not really what the show is about. And I think it would be disingenuous to say. It's really why are we obsessed with these killers? Why are we willing to go all this way and maybe like check that other part of our brain at the door? And why do we love it? When Crime Con, if people haven't seen season one of our favorite episodes is when they go to Crime Con, which is a real event. And it's thousands and thousands of people, fans who are trading stories and, going to these lectures and seminars and speaking engagements and really meeting some of their favorites. It's very real. It is a culture and it is something that actually has its own community. And that's really what the show is about and what we wanted to focus on.